First Contact and Alliance. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the bridge of the UES Intrepid, Earth's newest and most advanced exploration vessel. The ship's mission was simple: push beyond humanity's known borders and chart the stars. 6 months into their journey, they had discovered nothing but empty systems and dead worlds. "Captain," Lieutenant Kwan called from the sensor station, his voice tense. "We're picking up unusual energy readings from the Ta City system." Elena moved to his station, studying the readings. Weapons fire. Consistent with it, yes. And on a massive scale. The bridge crew exchanged glances. Humanity had never encountered another spacefaring civilization, though they had theorized about their existence for centuries. "Set course for Ta City," Elena ordered. "Yellow alert." As they dropped out of FTL at the edge of the system, the scene before them silenced every voice on the bridge. A battle raged around the fourth planet. Dozens of crystalline ships with elegant flowing designs were being systematically destroyed by black angular vessels that moved with terrifying coordination. "Analysis," Elena demanded. "The black ships are outputting energy signatures unlike anything in our database," Science Officer Puddle reported. "The crystalline vessels appear to be civilian in nature, minimal weapons, designed for speed rather than combat." "We're being hailed," Communications Officer Rodriguez announced, from one of the crystalline ships. A holographic display materialized in the center of the bridge. The alien that appeared was humanoid, but with iridescent skin that shifted colors like oil on water. Its 4 eyes blinked independently, and when it spoke, the ship's AI translated. "Unknown vessel, we are the Lumina. We beg assistance. The void swarm will consume all life in this system, then spread to others. We cannot stop them." Elena hesitated. First contact situations were delicate enough without involving military action. Earth's protocols were clear: observe, report back, and await instructions. "The Lumina vessel is taking heavy damage," Tactical Officer Williams reported. "Their shields are failing." Protocols be damned. Elena couldn't watch a massacre. Target the nearest black vessel and fire. Full tactical display. Alert Earth Command of our situation. The Intrepid's railguns thundered, sending hypervelocity projectiles tearing through space. The first black ship, caught by surprise, shattered into fragments. The others immediately broke off their attack on the Lumina vessels and turned toward the Intrepid. "They're coming for us," Williams warned. "Evasive maneuvers. Continue firing. Rodriguez, tell the Lumina vessels to retreat behind us." For the next hour, the Intrepid danced through space, its advanced targeting systems and maneuverability giving it an edge despite being outnumbered. 3 more Void Swarm ships were destroyed before the rest retreated to the edge of the system. The Lumina representative returned to the holographic display. "You have saved many lives today." The Void Swarm had never encountered resistance they could not overwhelm. Until now. "Who are they?" Elena asked. "A collective consciousness that spreads across galaxies, consuming all resources and assimilating all knowledge before moving on. They have destroyed 12 civilizations that we know of. We Lumina are scholars and traders. We have no defense against such aggression." Elena grimaced. "I'm not sure how much help we can be. We're just one ship." "But your tactics, your unpredictability, they had difficulty anticipating your movements. The swarm thinks as one mind. It cannot comprehend individual decision-making. Your species may be the key to stopping them." Before Elena could respond, Rodriguez interrupted. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission from Earth Command." Admiral Kazuo Yamamoto's stern face appeared on screen. "Captain Rice, what have you done? You've potentially dragged Earth into an interstellar conflict without authorization." "With respect, Admiral, we prevented a genocide. You exceeded your authority. Return to Earth immediately for debriefing." The Lumina representative stepped forward. "Please, Earth Leader, if your ship leaves, the swarm will return. They are gathering reinforcements even now. Without your help, My people face extinction. Admiral Yamamoto's expression didn't change, but Elena saw the conflict in his eyes. Humanity had only recently unified after centuries of internal wars. The prospect of an external threat might fracture that fragile peace. Admiral, Elena said quietly, I sent our sensor data. The Void Swarm's technology is beyond anything we've seen. If they finish with the Lumina, what's to stop them from finding Earth next? Hours passed as the United Earth Council debated. Meanwhile, the Lena ordered the Intrepid to escort Lumina refugee ships to the relative safety of the system's outer planets. Her crew worked alongside the aliens, learning about their culture and technology, while preparing defensive positions. The Lumina shared their star charts, revealing a pattern of systems gone dark as the swarm advanced. Earth was in its path, though still years away. 3 days later, Admiral Yamamoto contacted the Intrepid again. Captain Rice, the Council has reached a decision. We cannot in good conscience abandon a civilization facing extinction, especially when the same threat may eventually reach us. Relief washed over Elena. The defense fleet is being mobilized. 20 ships will join you within the week. This is not just about saving the Lumina. It's about humanity's place among the stars. If we turn away now, what kind of species are we? As promised, Earth's ships arrived. A mix of battlecruisers, carriers, and support vessels. The Intrepid's initial success had sparked something in humanity's collective consciousness. For the first time, humans united not to fight each other, but to defend another species. Admiral Chen Li, commanding the battlecruiser Prometheus, took overall command of the fleet. The Void Swarm has no concept of mercy or surrender, he told the assembled captains. This is a fight for survival, theirs and potentially ours. Earth's scientists and engineers worked feverishly with Lumina scholars, combining human military innovation with Lumina's advanced understanding of physics. Together, they developed new shield configurations and weapon systems designed specifically to counter the swarm's technology. Meanwhile, Elena and her crew investigated a theory. If the swarm truly operated as a collective mind, perhaps they could disrupt its cohesion. Lieutenant Paddle developed a quantum entanglement disruptor based on Lumina theories, untested, but potentially devastating to a hive mind. The swarm is returning, a Lumina observer reported one morning. Over 300 vessels. Admiral Lai looked at the tactical display, his face grim. They've learned. They're coming in force. The human Lumina fleet took up defensive positions around the inhabited planets. 27 human ships and 46 Lumina vessels against a force that outnumbered them 7-1. This is where we make our stand, Elena told her crew as the black ships approached. Not just for humanity, not just for the Lumina, but for the principle that life has the right to exist without being consumed. As the Void Swarm closed in, humanity prepared to fight as they had always done, with determination, adaptability, and the fierce need to protect those who could not protect themselves. The final stand. The Void Swarm struck with the precision of a single organism controlling hundreds of vessels. They moved in complex three-dimensional formations that shifted and adapted continuously. Against any normal opponent, such coordination would have been overwhelming. But humans had never been normal opponents. Break formation. Admiral Lai commanded as the swarm deployed its standard envelopment strategy. Randomized response patterns. Execute. The Earth ships scattered in seemingly chaotic patterns, each captain reacting based on individual judgment rather than central command. It was organized chaos, exactly what humans excelled at. The Lumina ships, following human guidance, mimicked this unpredictability. For the first time, the swarm's perfect coordination became a weakness. Designed to counter coherent military formations, they struggled against opponents who refused to behave logically. Captain Elena Rice pushed the Intrepid through a gap in the swarm's lines, firing continuously at their rear echelon. Target their command nodes, she ordered. Disrupt their communication. 2 hours into the battle, humanity's advantages began to wane. The swarm was adapting, learning human patterns even as humans tried to remain unpredictable. For every swarm ship destroyed, the humans lost one of their own. The Lumina vessels, less combat-capable, suffered even worse losses. "We need to deploy the disruptor," Elena told Admiral Lai over the tactical channel. "It's our only chance." The quantum entanglement disruptor was untested technology, a combination of Lumina theoretical physics and human practicality. If it worked, it would sever the swarm's hive-mind communication. If it failed, the energy backlash could destroy the Intrepid. "We're losing too many ships," Lai acknowledged. "Proceed with deployment, Captain. All vessels provide cover for the Intrepid." Elena nodded to Lieutenant Patil. "Initiate the sequence." The Intrepid's specially modified deflector array began emitting pulses of quantum-entangled particles designed to interfere with the swarm's neural network. At first, nothing happened. Then, gradually, the swarm ship's perfect formation began to falter. "It's working," Patil exclaimed. "Their coordination is breaking down." But the victory was short-lived. The Intrepid's engines suddenly failed, power levels dropping across all systems. "The disruptor is draining our power faster than calculated," Chief Engineer Takahashi reported. "We have maybe 5 minutes before complete failure." Elena made a rapid calculation. Evacuate non-essential personnel to the lifepods. Set them on a trajectory toward the Prometheus. "Captain," Rodriguez questioned, "we need to get closer to the center of their formation for maximum effect. The Intrepid won't be coming back from this mission." The bridge crew exchanged glances, then returned to their stations. No one moved toward the escape pods. "I gave an order," Elena said quietly. "With respect, Captain," Williams replied. "We all volunteered for this mission. We'll see it through together." Tears threatened at the corners of Elena's eyes, but she blinked them away. "Navigator, plot a course through their formation. Maximum impulse on my mark." The Intrepid plunged into the heart of the swarm, its failing shields absorbing tremendous damage. All around them, swarm ships began firing erratically, some even turning on each other as their hive mind fractured. "Disruptor at maximum output," Patil reported, his voice steady despite the ship breaking apart around them. "Pattern destabilization at 70% and rising." Elena watched the tactical display as the swarm's formation collapsed entirely. Individual ships drifted aimlessly or fired at random targets. "It worked," she whispered as the bridge lights flickered and died, emergency lighting casting everyone in a red glow. "Hull breach on decks 3 through 7, Takahashi reported. "Structural integrity failing." Elena opened a channel to the fleet. "Admiral Lai, the disruptor was successful. The swarm's neural network is collapsing. Finish them while they're disorganized." "We see it, Intrepid," Lai responded. "Hold on, we're coming for you." But Elena knew there wouldn't be time. The Intrepid was coming apart at the seams, its power core destabilizing. "It's been an honor," she told her crew. As the human fleet closed in, finishing off the now disorganized swarm ships, the Intrepid's core went critical. The explosion created a quantum cascade that rippled through nearby space, destroying dozens of swarm vessels caught in its radius. When the light faded, the battle was over. The remaining swarm ships, cut off from their collective intelligence, were easily destroyed or disabled. Some self-destructed, their programming unable to cope with individual existence. 3 weeks later, on Earth, Admiral Yamamoto addressed the United Earth Council. "The Battle of Ta City was a costly victory," he said solemnly. "We lost 9 ships, including the Intrepid and all hands. But thanks to Captain Rice and her crew's sacrifice, we have proven that the Void Swarm can be defeated." He gestured to the Lumina ambassador beside him. "Moreover, we have gained allies. The Lumina's technological knowledge combined with our military experience creates a partnership that will benefit both our peoples." The ambassador stepped forward, its skin cycling through colors of mourning and gratitude. "For millennia, my people believed we were alone in facing the darkness. Now we know differently. Humanity's courage has changed the course of galactic history. A holographic display activated, showing dozens of new crystalline ships under construction in Earth orbit. They were hybrids, Lumina designed with human defensive systems. The swarm will return, Yamamoto continued. Their collective extends beyond the forces we defeated. But next time, we'll be ready. The Intrepid Initiative, as we're calling it, will establish defensive positions throughout Lumina space and along the predicted path of the swarm's advance. The Council voted unanimously to approve the initiative. For the first time in human history, Earth's military forces would deploy not for conquest or self-defense, but as protectors of another civilization. On the edge of Lumina space, a memorial now orbits. A simple plaque attached to a piece of the Intrepid's hull reads, "To the crew of the UES Intrepid, who gave their lives not only for humanity, but for all sentient life. May their sacrifice remind us that our greatest strength lies not in our technology or our numbers, but in our willingness to stand against darkness wherever we find it." In the decades that followed, humanity's reputation spread across the stars. Other species, previously hiding from the swarm, sought alliance with Earth. The humans, they whispered, were different. They fought not just for themselves, but for others. They valued individual life and liberty above efficiency and uniformity. As humanity's armada grew, incorporating technology and crew members from a dozen alien species, it became known by a simple phrase that needed no translation in any language: the shield of the galaxy.